Hi, today we talk about periods, and the first thing that I want to talk about is what comes to my mind when I think about period, and the first thing is pain. And the pain is unimaginable, the worst I ever had, but somehow I had it for months and for years, and I had it till, I would say, till nowadays, like till current time, but it's gotten easier since I've been taking contraceptives. And why do I take contraceptives? Because I have PCOS. PCOS is polycystic syndrome, is where your egg sticks to your tube or eggs, or I don't even remember what would that be, but it creates some kind of blockage, and then there could be potential for not having kids, which I don't mind, but I would love to stay healthy. And it does have some side effects like hair loss, weight gain, acne, mood swings, everything. And it's a little bit something that we would expect any girl would have, or at some point it would go away, but I caught it very early and I proceeded with taking contraceptives for that. I asked ChatGPT some thought-provoking questions on period topic, and the first thing it broke me is, why do you think menstruation is often considered taboo topic in many cultures? What a beautiful question. I would try to answer it shortly, but I do think it comes down to being a woman, and a lot of things have been taken against women because women cannot say anything or they cannot do anything. And I'm going to be talking about feminism and the genocide against women, which is considered also a taboo topic, and I hate that so much. I would love for people to look at things more realistically and actually maybe take a different stance and maybe take a different opinion and look at it in a different way. But some people are very narrow-minded. I myself have been very narrow-minded, or I shall say I have been growing up in an environment where things considered to be right and there's no other way. But since I've been growing, of course, I have been expanding my views and my overall opinions about things, and I have been looking at and listening to different people have different opinions, and that's what my opinion now comes to. And it's not to say that I hate division. I hate when men and women divide and they seek ways to belittle each other and find something that they can nag each other about rather than getting better. And the taboo topic, why period is a taboo? Because it's visible body discharge, bodily fluids, and we consider bodily fluids to be something something not normal, abnormal, or embarrassing, related to sex maybe, which is not true. The blood that comes out, it's supernatural, it's amazing, it's the body renews itself and gets rid of all the things that have not been serving anymore. And it's interesting because if we give it a try and keep ourselves not bleeding or try not to bleed, we'll be pregnant every year. So if you want that, then it's kind of your problem. Anyways, the taboo topic is really ridiculous because you could have been born as a woman. You could have been born as a woman and you could have bled. What about that? It could get better if people look at things realistically and they see, okay, I could have been a woman and I could have bled. What's then? And we should really wipe this stigma about it being an embarrassing topic. That's why I'm doing it right now. That's why I chose to come back to my blog with this topic, because I was so afraid of talking about it, because I was thinking that it's going to be a flop. It's not a flop. It's an amazing topic, and we should talk about it, especially it brings people together. The second question: how might open discussions about menstrual improve the well-being of individuals who experience it? I get emotional talking about this. It would have been better for me to be dead if I instead of my dad knowing that I would bleed when I was a teenager. So to me, that was an embarrassing topic. I could not bring up like buying pads. And I had periods of times where my mom would leave the country for half a year or a couple of months, but still I had to buy like pads for myself. But I didn't have income, of course, and I didn't have like pocket money, or if I would have, like it was very touchy subject, and I was like, I just need to get like something from the supply store, you know. And it was kind of like an anxious journey. I would call it like that, an anxious journey, because I was thinking and plotting and how to ask for money or how to get pads so that my dad would never look at it, see it. What broke this embarrassment is that when I went to one of my classes, like I had acting classes, and I felt like I had to go, like I had to go, and I left my house, and I just started my period, and I was standing in the bus, and I had really bad symptoms of periods. I would hang on to the bus like rail or like this bar, and my blood would flush down. Like I would stand there and be ghost, and I was dying inside, like the pain, and I was losing like sight. Sometimes I would lose sight. I would not see anything. I would be blind when I had periods. So I'm hanging on this bar, and I got to this place, and I went up to the reception, and they said, "Oh my God, you look horrible. You should go probably." And I was like, "Oh really? I look like that? Okay, I'm gonna go home." So I went back, and I was waiting. I was actually trying to catch a taxi because I thought, I'm not gonna go on a bus, like I'm not gonna handle that. So we kind of like call a taxi, and then what happened is that there was a daughter and a dad in at the reception too. So they're kind of like behind me or somewhere nearby. So I went to catch the taxi, and he drove like in his Jeep. I remember, like a big car. He drove in his Jeep, and he turned around and he asked if I needed a ride or a lift to my house. And I was like, oh no, like it's okay. But of course, if the people are persistent here, we cannot even say no. No is not acceptable. So I sat in his car, and he said, "Are you okay? Like you look very like flushed, like you look horrible." And I said, "Yeah, like I'm on, you know, these days, you know." And I was embarrassed. And he said, "I'm gonna give you a number for a gynecologist. My wife had the same problem. I hope this gynecologist is going to help you, because this is not normal, like if you are in a lot of pain." And I said, "Thank you." Like at that moment, I knew like it wasn't a key topic to talk about. It was completely normal. He made this topic so comfortable for me to talk about. I'm gonna read 3 questions, and that's it, okay? 5 questions is kind of too much. How could schools and workplaces better support individuals who menstruate? I shall say it. Some of the European countries have like off days for periods, and oh my God, yes, for that. We should have that. everywhere. Like, it's impossible. I just told you a story where I was holding on to the bar and I could not see. I had moments where I asked for a day off, and 1 second, there was only one that I had. She was so understanding on my first day of period. She was like, day off, that's it. But other times it was like pleading and begging for some type of comfort during work, because in some point in my life I worked as a cake decorator, baker. I had to be standing and walking and carrying, you know. Could not do that. I mean, I would pass out, but still I had to come, and I begged, can I just please sit? I just need to sit. And they're like, okay, no problem, come and sit. I did not sit. They would make me go and run and bring something, and it should happen at the workplace. Days off. Days off, maybe like someone to talk to about this. Again, why is it a taboo question when it comes to guys? Because guys are uncomfortable with that. The guys should become more comfortable. And how do they become more comfortable? They talk about it since birth. How do they talk about it since birth? They should have classes about this in school. They should not take only girls. Like, this would happen to our school. They took only girls to a separate class with like TV, and then we watched about periods and we're like, oh my god, this is how it went. Why only us? Why? The guys should have been there too. So that's my opinion. They should be taught from very early age. As uncomfortable as it might be, it will be more uncomfortable. There's so many uneducated people. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and that's where I am going to finish it on, like a cherry on top. Anyways, I wanted to make it very light, but I cried. Boo-hoo. I'm gonna see you on my next podcast.